Good morning, and we're in chapter 31 today. We've got 31, 32, and 33. I'm going to do them separately, but they all tie into the same story. We're going to have Jacob leaving to return to Canaan, and the difficulties of leaving, as well as the difficulties of going back to somewhere and to someone who has vowed to kill him at one time in his life, remembering, though, that this is 20 years later. So, but you don't forget that when somebody wants to kill you. And so this is the difficulty for Jacob. Jacob already wants to return to Canaan, but he also knows that it's going to be difficult. But he also knows he can't stay with Laban, his father-in-law. And it's interesting how every step of the way there's a reason why I went to see Laban, because Laban apparently is in the covenant. Basically, he's living the way that he's supposed to live. That's why they're not supposed to marry the Hittites and things, was because they weren't living those covenants. And apparently Laban was. However, Laban on each turn seems to have a different way of doing things, and very in himself, you might say, very greedy, and we'll see that in this story as well. So Joseph, some years earlier, said, I've got to leave. It's time to leave. 14 years I've labored. I've married both of your daughters, and now it's time to leave. But before I leave, maybe we can sort out what livestock is mine and which is yours. And they have this plan, and he starts to put it into place where he takes the ones that have marks on them of some sort, and Laban keeps the other ones. And it always seems that the ones that Jacob has is always the better ones. So that's where he is now. But look at the difference. He says he wants to leave, but now things start to happen. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all his glory. So they're saying that they're on or wealth, but they're saying, wait a minute, this is what we should be getting when our father passes on as well. I think that's what they're thinking. So Laban's sons aren't much better than Laban himself in that sense. And I don't know that they've been mentioned until now. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and beheld it was not toward him as before. So up until now, Laban's like, oh yeah, everything's just fine. But now it's sort of like, oh, you want to leave, huh? Well, and also, you've been tricking me, haven't you? Sort of thing. And the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers and thy kindred, and I will be with thee. How significant is that, to know that God is with you? And for Jacob, that was very important, to know that what he was doing was what the Lord wanted him to be. And why? Well, his life is on the line here. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock. And so he's kind of like saying, let's do this in private. I just need to talk to you. And he said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not towards me as before, but God of my father hath been with me. So your father is against me now, but my God is with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. I have done everything I'm supposed to do. Why is he mad at me now? And your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. Not just, marry my first daughter and then my second daughter. It was, he kept changing. Well, they're worth a little bit more, so you need to work a little more or something like that. But God suffered him not to hurt me. So he felt that he was protected. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring straight shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring straight. Basically saying, whatever God wanted, it was going to happen anyway, whether he put branches in front of them or not. Thus, God hath taken away the cattle of your father and hath given it to me. See how he, even though he did everything he thought needed to be done, it was God he gives the glory to, and it was God that he believed to do. We do everything we can do, but it's really God that does the increase in anything in our life. And it came to pass that the cattle or the livestock conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight and speckled and grizzled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up thine eyes, and see that all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow to me. Now arise and get thee out from this land, and return to the land of thy kindred. So all of this is to do what God wanted him to do. And Rachel and Leah, and I love this, there doesn't seem to be any hesitation in these two wonderful women. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted unto him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. Basically, it's not sold us as in he gave us to you to be married. That is the problem. It's the problem that he was supposed to be working for their dowry, and the father even took that and said, okay, well, this is mine, and has used it, and they should be able to receive that from him. But instead, he's taken it. So they are not receiving that dowry that they should have. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Saying, we don't have any ties here anymore, because he is not treating us any better than you. In a way, that's what I'm getting from this. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all the cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Paddan-aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. Remember, this is like 20 years later, so Isaac gave him a blessing thinking that he might die, and yet he's still alive, but he probably still been blind. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. Now, this, I think, needs some explanation. Why did Rachel steal from her father? The images which Rachel had stolen from her father Laban were small statues that people in the ancient Near East used as idols in their homes. This same Hebrew word is also used in the Old Testament to refer to objects used for divination or fortune telling, although the text does not explain why Rachel took her father's idols. Many theories exist. Some theories include that Rachel was trying to stop her father's idolatry or planned to use the objects as a ransom in case Laban captured Leah and Rachel. Another theory is that the statues were tied to the legal rights of inheritance. Rachel may have been trying to secure for her family the inheritance she and Leah felt their father owed them. That gives you a little bit. I don't know if it clarifies it completely, but she's taken these images, and it also, to me, when we're talking about covenants and things, and remember, this isn't a historical book. This is a book about covenants. The whole reason why Jacob came in the first place was because they were kindred that were following the prophets and living the covenants. And here Laban is saying Laban is not. And Rachel has taken those images from him. Never says that she used them for what was said there as gods or anything, but it says that she's taken them. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban, the Syrian, and I believe it's Albanian that is the other translation or something, in that he told him not that he fled. There's a good reason for that, and we'll see that a little bit later. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face towards the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount of Gilead. Why did it take so long? Well, first of all, they probably live in a different area. Second of all, how can they catch up? Well, Jacob's taken women and children and flocks, herd animals, and all that, so they'll not be moving really fast. And if Laban has taken something light, then they're going to catch up eventually anyway. And God came to Laban and the Syrian in the dream by night and said unto him, sorry about the coughing, take heed that thou speak not to Jacob, neither either good or bad. Basically saying, be kind. Don't go there and try to accuse him or anything. Find out why he left. Then Laban overtook Jacob, and I don't think it's because Laban was righteous that he got this dream. I think it's because Jacob was righteous, and the Lord was there for him. And Laban overtook Jacob, and now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said unto Jacob, what hast thou done? Thou hast stolen away unawares. Now listen to the things that he says. He's accusing Jacob of things falsely. And people do this today often. I've seen them so many times trying to make a case where someone that's doing something good or righteous is told that they're doing something wicked and horrible. That thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword. So he said, you ran away and you took my daughters, the ones that you worked, 15 years for, that you're legally and lawfully married to. When my sister left and your mother, she was gone in a day and we didn't see her, but this is different. This is my daughters. It's sort of this really, let's twist things around. This is really bad. Why did you do this? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and still away from me, and didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth and songs and timbrel and with harp? Notice how he twists it. See, if you would have just stayed, we could have sent you away properly. But no, you didn't do that, did you? Do you think that's really the way that he was going to do it after 20 years of living off of what Jacob has been doing for him? Has not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in doing so, in so doing. So he's saying that what the Lord told Jacob to do was foolish. And in his mind, it probably was foolish. You should have stayed. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. He's got the men. He has the ability to hurt them. But God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. So he's letting Jacob know, well, I could hurt you right now. And he probably had that intention to begin with. He's taken my daughters, he's taken my grandchildren and everything, and he's heading out. I don't like this. I'm going to do something about it. But when he gets there, he says, well, I can't. I'm not going to, because God of your father, notice he said your father, spake unto me. And now, though thou wast needs gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet therefore thou hast stolen my gods. So remember, at this point, he thinks that Jacob took the gods as well. And this is where it gets to, yeah, stole my daughters, but guess what I really have a beef about, is you stole my idols. Why did Rachel steal from her father? That's the same thing that we just read again. And remember, this is the story, and Jacob doesn't know about it. Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid. For I, peradventure, thou wouldst taken by force thy daughters from me. So he's answering the first question. Well, I didn't want you to know, because I'm afraid back there you would have taken them away from me. Which he had no right anyway, but he could have. And the Lord told him to do that, and you can see why. And with whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. So if somebody stole from you, it wasn't me. I left because I don't want you to take your daughters from me. But if you find your idols, then whoever took them is in trouble. His life is forfeit. Before our brethren discern thou that what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, and found them not. And then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said unto her father, let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of woman is upon me. And that's enough for any man to go, okay, that's fine, I'm leaving now. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chode Laban. And I love the fact he's had time to think about it. He's thinking, what the heck is Laban trying to do right now? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, and what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it there before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt both of us both. He's saying, you've accused me several times of different things. If I have anything of yours, you put it right here and you show everybody. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. My hand didst not thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day that drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sheep departed from mine eyes. I'm the one that handled all this. I'm the one that was out there in the wilderness looking for lost sheep. I'm the one that was out there at night when it was really cold. I was there trying to take care of the sheep when there wasn't very much water. That's what he's telling them. And thus I've been 20 years in thy house. See, he's all of a sudden got this vigor saying, wait a minute, you've said that I stole from you, but guess what? I'm the one that did all this stuff, and you just sat back and let me do it. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. God hath seen mine affliction, and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? And now therefore come thou, and let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be a witness unto me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. Isn't it interesting? He's still fighting that he has possession over those things that Jacob had worked for. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather the stones, and they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Jacob called it Jager Sadath, but Jacob called it Gilead, and basically it just means like a heap of witness, or I think the same thing for Gilead is basically witness. It's just a different way of saying it. And Jacob said, "This heap is a witness unto me and thee this day." Therefore was the name called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, "The Lord watch between me and thee, when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee." You better take care of them. He's shown care now, isn't he? Laban said unto Jacob, "Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap will be a witness, and this pillar be a witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm." Basically saying, you stay on that side, I stay on this side. And God of Abraham and the God of Nahor and the God of their father judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. And Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all the night in the mount. And in the early morning Laban rose up and kissed his sons and daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned to his place. And that's how we leave it with Laban. And we'll see more of what happens when he goes to Esau in the next 2 chapters.